Alright, so there was a question about number 12 in chapter 2. So I'm going to go over it real quick, see if I can straighten things out. There was a whole question set up here, got all bloody, immune system. I don't know anything about that. But I can skip down here to the meat of the problem, the economics, and it says that there's this demand equation. So they say that the quantity demanded is equal to 175 minus P. And so that's our demand equation. So this means that the number of units demanded are going to be equal to this constant 175 minus the price. So as the price increases, the quantity demanded should decrease, which goes right along with our law of demand. And then they give us this supply equation. So the quantity that's supplied is equal to 2 times the price minus 200. So as the price goes up, the quantity that's supplied should also increase. So that fits with the law of supply. And they ask us what price do we expect to prevail if this new screening method is adopted. So with these two new, this demand equation, the supply equation, which should be the equilibrium price, and then the next question is how many units will be used. So they want us to try and find the new equilibrium price and the new equilibrium quantity. So the way we do that is we set these two equations equal, because we know at that equilibrium point where the demand curve and the supply curve intersect, the quantity demanded is going to be equal to the quantity supplied. So we can set these equal. So 175 minus P, again that's our quantity demanded. That's going to be equal to the quantity supplied, or 2P minus 200. And then we can just go through and solve for P. So I can get this out of the way. If we add P, add a P, add 200, and add 200, this will cancel out, this will cancel out. We've got 375 is equal to 3P, and we divide by 3, and P should equal 125. So that's our equilibrium price. So when the price is $125, then 175 minus the price should be equal to 2 times 125 minus the price. So you can check that and make sure those are equal. And then so that gives us our new equilibrium price, $125. Now we have to figure out the new equilibrium quantity. And we know if that's our equilibrium price, we should be able to plug that back in to get that equilibrium quantity. So if we plug price back into the demand equation, we've got 175 minus 125 should give us 50 units. And so that's the quantity demanded. And then again, here, if we plug the price into the supply equation, 2 times 125 minus 200 should equal 50. Yeah, so this is 250 minus 200. So that's our equilibrium quantity. It's 50 units. So now we can graph this. Once we've got the math out of the way, we can graph this and we can use that to find the consumer surplus and the producer surplus. So I'm going to keep these two, the demand equation and the supply equation up there, but let me get rid of the rest of this. All right, and we just found that our new equilibrium is going to be at $125.50 units. So we know this is going to be the intersection of supply and demand. So we know this point is going to be on both the supply curve and the demand curve. And then it's pretty straightforward to get another point on the demand curve, because we can find out what happens, or I guess we can find the y-intercept fairly easily if we set the quantity demanded equal to 0, then 175 minus what price is going to satisfy this this demand equation. And so, fairly straightforward, at a price of $175, nobody is going to demand any units. Right? So 175 minus 175 is going to give us 0. So this is where our demand equation is going to intercept, or where our demand curve is going to intersect the y-axis. And so there's our demand curve. You got 2 points, and so you can draw that demand curve in. It's a little too late in the day. If we got that, now we can find the supply equation, and we can find where the supply crosses the y-axis. And so again, we set this equal to 0, the quantity supplied equal to 0. So we know that's where it's going to hit that y-axis. And to get that equal to 0, we need 2 times 100 minus 200. So we can say, oh, alright, we know that then our supply curve is going to intersect at $100. I'm a little jumbled up here, sorry. And so this supply curve is going to run from 100 through this point of 125 and 50. And then you know that the area above the price and below the demand curve is our consumer surplus, and the area below the price and above the supply curve is our producer surplus. And so now you really got to think back to that 8th grade algebra class. It's probably been a couple years, and you can, algebra, geometry, whatever class that was, you can figure out the area of this triangle. And so again, that's, if you didn't remember from 8th grade, that's 1/2 the base times the height. And so we know this base for the producer surplus, this distance is 25. So producer surplus equals 1/2 times 25 times 50. Just finding the area of this triangle. And that should be equal to, off the top of my head, 625. And then to find the consumer surplus, again, the area above the price but below the demand curve. Again, it's going to be that 1/2 base times height, but this now is 50, and then this again is 50. So 1/2 times 50 times 50, and that should be twice that, which is 1250. The high level math, that'll get you every time.